part 5, emotional and mental health. So I'll start by discussing how you can balance your mental and emotional health naturally through Ayurveda, and how your dosha or your body type affects your mental and emotional health, and how you can support your family and friends in creating better emotional health in their lives. And then we'll practice an emotional clearing visualization. So it's a beautiful visualization. Highly recommend staying for that. And then last, I'll share a surprise quiz to help you discover what your body type is or what your dosha is, so you can begin customizing your lifestyle choices right away. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's get rolling. Let's start by looking at Ayurveda's perspective on emotional health. So Ayurveda recognizes that emotional well-being is one of the fundamental pillars of health. It's just as important as optimal nutrition, restful sleep, a daily meditation practice, mindful movement, and living in harmony with our biological rhythms. So very, very important in Ayurveda. And as we have been exploring in the last few classes, Ayurveda offers a valuable approach to emotional and physical health. It's a holistic perspective that recognizes that two are in fact inseparable, the two, mind and body. So the Ayurvedic physicians of 5,000 years ago knew something that has now been verified by modern science. The mind, including our thoughts, emotions, desires, are inextricably connected to our body. So at the deepest level, they are one undistinguishable unit, like a river of intelligence shaped by our choices, experiences, reactions, and beliefs. Our body mind is deeply affected by our emotions. Chemical messages tell every cell how we feel, and in its own way, a cell can be happy or sad, agitated or content, worried or calm. So toxicity consists of both physical and emotional toxins. So the inability to digest emotional experiences produces just as much toxic residue in the body as undigested food. So when we're burdened with pent-up resentment, hostility, regret, or grievances, our health and vitality are eroded and can even lead to physical illness. So when you feel fear or anxiety, your body responds with fight, flight, freeze response, which raises your heart rate and increases the production of cortisol and adrenaline and other stress hormones. On the other hand, when you experience emotions such as joy, gratitude, and compassion, you induce a relaxation response and promote self-healing and balance in your body-mind. So let's chat a little bit about Maslow's theory of hierarchy of human needs, which states that once we take care of the first level of essential needs like food, water, shelter, etc., that there are 4 essential needs beyond that. And those needs are attention, affection, acceptance, and appreciation. Attention, affection, acceptance, and appreciation. And our emotional reactions come from whether we have those physical or psychological needs met or not. So important to understand that. Because when our physical and emotional needs are met, we experience comfort and feelings of contentment, joy, and peace. And when our physical and emotional needs are not met, we experience discomfort and feelings of anxiety, anger, or depression. So have you ever noticed that certain emotions arise in your life when your needs aren't met? Have you noticed that some people have emotions of anxiety when their needs weren't met, while others react with anger and depression? Isn't that interesting? What is that about? How come we have different experiences when our needs aren't met? So let's look at that a little closer, particularly in relationship with the 3 doshas. So what are the dosha type propensities to emotional reactions when their needs aren't met? how do the dosha types affect emotional reactions within each one of us? So all of the dosha types can experience every kind of emotion because we all have all three doshas within us. However, each dosha type has a tendency to experience particular emotions when their needs aren't met. So let's look at each dosha and what their emotional tendencies are, starting with vata. So vata types have propensity to react to unmet needs with feelings of anxiety, fear, worry, and guilt. They can experience nervous feelings and spin in thoughts of what if and self-criticism. They're likely to blame themselves for the situation and wonder what they did wrong. Pitta types tend to feel angry or hostile when their fundamental needs aren't met. They can easily become sarcastic, aggressive, or threatening, and they're prone to blame others for the situation and may want to seek out revenge or get even. So pitta types are the ones saying, who did this or who messed this up, and are seeking someone to blame and then wanting someone to pay. And kapha types are likely to become sad and discouraged in the face of unmet needs. They may become stubborn or moody or depressed or indifferent. And their tendency is to ignore or avoid the situation and withdraw. Have you experienced any of these kind of emotional reactions within yourself or seen them in other people? So I'm going to share an example so you get a deeper understanding of how these show up. So let's take an example of a group of friends that go to dinner and they have plans after dinner to see a movie. And so they have a timeline of dinner and they're going to order and head out. So they only have a certain amount of time. So they all place their order. And after some time, the food has not arrived. And it's getting close to their movie start time. And they begin to react to the situation emotionally. So it's a mix of doshas at the table. And the vatas are saying, oh my gosh, if I just would have gotten ready earlier, I could have gotten here earlier, and this problem would have never happened. It's my fault. I'm so worried about this. What is so and so going to think? And they start to kind of go into a spinning of thoughts and what ifs. That would be a vata reaction. Pittas would start looking at their watch and getting very upset. Where is that waitress or waiter? I can't believe this. What are they doing in the kitchen? And they would start getting upset or blaming somebody, either the wait staff, the kitchen staff, or even maybe their partner for being late. But they would start accusing people and getting very upset. And kapha types would start sort of maybe looking around and avoiding the situation or avoiding eye contact and ignoring, maybe looking at their phone or going to the bathroom and just avoiding the situation altogether. And so this is sort of how the different doshas would experience this scenario and live that out. So do any of these emotional reactions sound familiar to you, either within yourself, or do you recognize them in others that you know? So what is your experience in this situation? What do you resonate with? How do you see yourself at this table? Let me know in the comment section how you would show up if you were at this table. What would you experience within yourself? I find that I carry more vata tendencies, and that's what I would experience personally at this table. And when I recognized that, when I learned that about myself, I was really able to have more compassion for myself and make more conscious choices around how I would respond in my life situations, because it's really a choice. And it's really great to understand the emotional propensities of each dosha, because you don't have to take yourself or others' emotional reactions personally, right? You don't have to take your reactions personally. You understand that there is emotional reactions because a need isn't met. That's why something's arising. That's okay. And you can offer more compassion to yourself and others. So the emotional needs, they can be met if you recognize that you're going into a reaction. And the first question is to say, what do I need right now? What do I need? So with that in mind, you can really support yourself and others in a more nurturing way. And this understanding really gives us choices, and we can respond versus react. So as we become more aware and skilled at getting our needs met, and when we keep our doshas in balance, we can learn to respond to challenging situations with greater grace and calm rather than reacting in a counterproductive way. All right, beauties. So I want to hear from you. Let me know what your emotional reaction would be at the table, and we can talk more about how you can balance that. So let's talk some more about other things to consider. So another thing to think about when you're thinking about emotional reactions is each emotional reaction isn't the exclusive domain of one dosha. So pitta types, for instance, can become worried and anxious, as can kapha types. Vata types may have moments of hostility or stubbornness, but be aware of the emotional tendencies of the dosha types. But understand that these are flexible guidelines. Each of us is a combination of all the doshas and can experience feelings across the entire emotional spectrum. All right, beauties. And another important aspect to consider when observing emotional reactions in the doshas is your true nature. So even though we have emotional reactions, a body, a mind, and thoughts, we're not solely those things. We are born from consciousness. Consciousness is in every cell and molecule of our body mind. We are universal intelligence. You are consciousness. And in those times of emotional reactions, ask the soul question, who am I? Who am I? And this really helps us remember our divine nature and helps us to understand that we are not just this physical body destined to react to unmet needs according to our doshic propensities. You have a choice to take the stance as the conscious observer. So as we begin to remember the essence of who we are and the truth of our existence, we connect with the truth and then respond from that place of connection and peace versus reactions from fear or unmet needs. Who am I? Great question. So think and remember, I am consciousness, the one who is aware of being aware. And in this state of awareness, all is calm, all is at peace, and all is in perfect balance. Emotional health is very important and is a fundamental focus in Ayurveda. So toxicity consists of both physical and emotional toxins. The inability to digest emotional experiences produces just as much toxic residue in the body as undigested food. Undigested food. It's amazing. It's wonderful to know this. So when we're burdened with pent-up resentment, hostility, regret, or grievances, our health and vitality are eroded and can even lead to physical illness. So bringing awareness to your dosha propensity supports you in responding versus reacting and giving you the tools to choose how you'd like to respond in life's situation. So remember your consciousness. Remember that all is perfect and that you have a choice in your emotional reactions. So now we'll practice a guided emotional clearing visualization to release pent-up emotions that may be stored in your body. So grab any props that you need, blankets, blocks, bolsters, a chair, etc. And grab a pen and paper or your journal. We'll do a little writing on this exercise as well. So go ahead and grab those things and sit comfortably. Please close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And become aware of your body. Allow your awareness to move throughout your entire body, noting any sensations, thoughts, or emotions that are present right now. Good. Gently let your attention rest in the area of your abdomen and heart. Take a couple of full deep breaths in your belly and notice any sensations that you feel in this area. Good. Now allow yourself to remember a recent event that was upsetting to you. It could be an argument with your boss, or being cut off on the highway, or a rude waitress you had to deal with. Just recall some relatively minor upset that happened within the last 2 weeks, bringing the specific details into your mind. Allow yourself to experience any emotions rising from that incident. And as you do, acknowledge to yourself that these are your feelings. Regardless of the circumstances, regardless of anyone else's behavior, these feelings are happening in you. And therefore, they're your responsibility. So make a commitment now to take responsibility for your own emotional reactions. Now, as clearly as you can, identify what you are feeling, whether it is anger, sadness, irritation, jealousy, or some other emotion. Name that emotion. Now take a deep breath. And again, bring your awareness into your body. Where do you feel the emotion? Where do you feel the emotion? Your heart, your stomach, your neck, lower back? Where do you feel that emotion? Good. Once you have localized the place in your body where the emotion is lodged, breathe into that area while you witness the sensation. Notice that the emotional charge begins to dissipate by simply bringing your attention to it with the intention to release it with every breath. Without talking or looking around too much, just please open your eyes and grab your pen and paper or your journal. And begin to express in writing how you felt about the incident. Allow this time to be completely private for yourself so you can really openly express how you feel. So use language that accurately conveys what you're feeling. And if memories of similar situations come to mind, you can write them down as well. I'll give you a little bit of time to make your notes. Feel free to pause this video if you're on the replay, if you'd like more time, or you could come back to this exercise a little later today so you can really fully express what has come up for you. But we'll take a few moments now to write, so go ahead and write. Good. Now, without speaking or talking, just stand up. We're going to do an exercise to discharge the emotional experience from your body. So while taking a deep breath in, you can raise your arms over your head. Take a deep breath, and on the exhalation, you drop your arms down while making the sound ha. So inhale, ha. And we'll do it a few times. Go ahead and raise your arms over your head. Inhale, ha. Acknowledging the release of the emotion as you perform the movement. Inhale, ha. Good. Continue to fully participate in this. Lift your arms again. Ha. One more time. Raise your arms. Deep breath. And on the exhale, ha. Good. Releasing anything that doesn't serve you with every breath. And go ahead and take a seat. Continue to breathe. And as a result of your courage to uncover and release stored emotional pain, you are spontaneously more capable of giving and receiving love. Envisioning your heart filling and overflowing with golden, warm, healing light. Imagine this healing energy flowing out of your heart to all those in your immediate environment, to all the friends and loved ones in your life, and to the person with whom you created the situation that you have now released. Allow the love of everyone in your circle of friends and family to infuse your heart as well, nourishing and rejuvenating you. Good. And just sit with that for some time, that nourishing feeling of love going out of your heart and love coming into your heart. Good. And when you're ready, please open your eyes. Slowly bring your awareness back into the room. Gently stretch and move your body. Good. Good. And you can use this process whenever you notice yourself reacting to anyone in your life, your husband or wife, your boss, your best friend, or clerk at the grocery store. Although these people, they may push your buttons, they don't put the buttons there in the first place. So when we view our emotional reactions as opportunities to heal unresolved issues from our past, we stop blaming others for our feelings. So super important to take responsibility for those feelings. And as a result, we feel more empowered and more alive. So this exercise really enables us to take action and release emotional pain so that we do not hold on to emotional toxicity in our body-mind. So be patient with yourself. Remain unattached to the results as you try these steps on your own. If you have significant trauma or relationship issues, seek professional help. If you have high emotional reactions of things going on in your life right now, it's really important to seek professional support. So because becoming comfortable with this practice is a process, it's important that you choose smaller, sort of low emotional reaction incidences. And if you have more reactive incidences, it's important to get some help with that. So you may have times when this practice works perfectly, and you may have times when it doesn't go well. If you apply the emotional clearing process regularly and in earnest, over time, you'll find that using these 7 simple steps will become second nature. So really practice it and be diligent with it and really enjoy it as you release and let go of those things. And feel free to practice this exercise on your own, or you feel free to watch the video again and again to experience the great benefits of this emotional release visualization, and really have fun with it. Really feel the experience and really, get into it. Allow it to work for you. Allow it to work for you. So now we're going to shift gears and focus on a dosha quiz. And that quiz determines your body mind characteristics and the essential nature you were born with. So again, Ayurveda has an individual and catered approach of lifestyle medicine for each person by taking into consideration what your body mind constitution is or what your dosha is. So I'm adding a link to a dosha quiz in the comments section that you can take to find out what your dosha is. And I'll add that link now. So when you're answering the questions, think in terms of which statements have been true for you for most of your life. If you developed an illness in childhood or as an adult, think of how things were for you before that illness. So specifically with mental traits or behavioral traits, since they tend to be more subjective, you should answer according to how you have felt and acted most of your life. And really knowing your dosha gives you insight on what you can focus on to personalize your healthy lifestyle choices through the 6 pillars of health. But for now, take the quiz and we'll continue our discussion through the next couple classes in this Ayurveda series so you can discover best practices to balance your dosha. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments section. I'm happy to answer them, whether we're live or on the replay, I will get them. Go ahead and drop those questions or comments in the comments section and let me know if you're with me. So thank you for giving yourself the gift of Ayurveda, and I thank you for joining me today, beauties. It's an honor to share these classes with you. Namaste.